Hello everyone, welcome to Peach on Earth Tarot. Today I'm going to be doing a reading for Libra for the month of April. You can have Libra anywhere in your chart. You can be a cross watcher. All that I ask is that if you are here watching this reading, that you come with good intentions for yourself and for others. Okay, Libra. You had some interesting messages come up when I was getting into your energy. So first off, I got a song for you guys. And the song that you got is it's called Winds of Change by Scorpions. And firstly, I wrote a couple of lyrics down from the song. The first one was the future's in the air, can feel it everywhere. Okay. And then the second one was where the children of tomorrow share their dreams with you and me. So those two lyrics together, I feel like if you were somewhat of a child, like in your youth, around the time that this song was being written, which is like in the 80s, I really get the strong sense that you are the children of tomorrow, right? That they're referring to. And now you're an adult and you're responsible for changing the world now because you're an adult. You're not a child anymore. And then what's really, really interesting is as soon as the song was over, I kind of like closed my eyes to just kind of reflect on it a little bit. And instantly there was this meditation that I used to do when I first started on my spiritual journey, which was, I've been on it for a while, but I've been on it for, I don't know how long, 16 years or something. But it really, really picked up 2.5 years ago, really picked up. And so I started doing that meditation. It was probably about 4 or 5 years ago that I started this meditation. And I closed my eyes and I instantly had this memory of this meditation. I haven't done this meditation in years. I haven't even thought about it in years. And the meditation is called Butterfly Effect Meditation. These Thoughts Will Change Your Life by Doxy is the YouTube page. And it's DAUCHSY, like Doxy, like the Dachshund dogs. So DAUCHSY. And that's what I'm kind of getting here is any change is the childhood thing is coming up strongly for me. It's what you had. This has actually been a really strong message lately that I've been seeing, it's been manifesting in my reality a lot. Seeing things that say things along these lines is that what you had, the dreams you had in your youth are of the utmost importance right now. Tapping back into those dreams were there for a reason, and then as you grew you kind of got led away from those dreams, and now it's you're supposed to be tapping back into them, or we are. I think as a collective we're all supposed to be tapping back into our dreams that we had as children. And so this butterfly effect meditation is really, really it's calming and peaceful, and it also really wants to enact change, I think. So that's what I was getting beforehand. So I have been using the Black Moon Astrology cards and the archetype cards, and I still might use the archetype cards or maybe even the Black Moon Astrology, but I'm really called to start with tarot for some reason. Normally I start with oracle cards. So I'm just going to go ahead and start with the Oshos and tarot for you guys. Libra, April. What's the message for Libra in April? What's the message for Libra in April? Come on, what's the message? Oh, okay. Inner voice. Oh my gosh. Yes. That's that. So when I'm seeing that, or yeah, I'm getting that whole like inner child thing. Like that's been such a huge, it's been so prominent lately where you have to go in your meditations and you have to kind of talk to who you were when you were a child. You have to go talk to yourself as a child because that child is still in you. We carry, our memories and our traumas and our blessings and all of it in us. Okay? And if you have a lot of trauma, you have to go in and talk to them. And it's almost like um in order to what was I going to say? It totally just left me. It left me because I subconsciously did this thing. You know that thing where you fold your thumbs across and it's like wings? I did that against my chest and it's like a butterfly flapping its wings. And that's why I got so distracted because I subconsciously did that. I really think that you should go do that meditation. And it'll like trigger something in you, I think, that's supposed to be being awakened again. Especially with these dolphins here, because dolphins represent playfulness, and that to me is like childhood. It represents childhood. And so there's something. And then I love on the bottom is traveling. And to me, that's kind of like meditation. When you do meditation, you travel. Maybe you're supposed to be doing some astral traveling as well, especially paired with inner voice. Okay. I was going to get more with this deck, but I'm actually going to leave it here for now. And I'm actually going to move. I haven't done any of the readings like this yet. So far, you guys. Like, I'm totally changing up for you guys, and maybe that's that winds of change. Like, you guys are just supposed to have a totally different reading. I'm actually going to use, what are these called? The Cosmic Slumber Tarot, because it is talking about the astral travel and the change and the meditations and stuff. And so it's called Cosmic Slumber, so I figured I'd use these here. Okay, can we get a message for this inner voice for Libra, please, for April? What's this inner voice message for Libra? What's the inner voice message? Inner voice for Libra. Ace of Cups. Hang on a second. Look at this. Do you see this tiny person inside this cup? It almost looks like they're actually in this huge giant body of water, but they're in the cup. And it's so interesting because this has a lot of watery energy too, especially with the moons, and it actually has water and dolphins, but the moons also represent water as well. This is crazy. Yeah, let me look at them for a second, up close. Okay, so in this cup, I feel like she's kind of like calling out. She looks like she's calling out, so I'm actually going to keep going with this deck. What is she calling out to in this Ace of Cups? And it almost looks childlike in this picture. And so that's kind of like, I feel like it's your child, your inner child voice calling something out to you. It's like, so what is it calling out? Something emotional, something to do with your depths. Something that's like buried really deep, I'm hearing. It's like really far down in there. You have to do like a deep dive in order to access it. And I honestly think that meditation is going to help. It's only like, it's not that long. The video is 22 minutes and, he does talk a little bit in the beginning. So once you hear that once, you don't have to really like listen to that part anymore. But, yeah, I think it's going to help you access something. It's like a butterfly effect, like just listening to that meditation, because you're not actually like, the meditation itself is honestly just a butterfly floating down from like high up in the sky down to the ground. That's what the meditation is, and you're the butterfly. And that's that butterfly effect. It's like, so just doing a simple act of this meditation is going to cause ripple effects in your life and the world around you. So I don't know if they're actually going to give us many answers about like what it is, because it is going to be different for each of you. But well, okay, well, the death card, yeah, more water. Look at him, he's like going through the water. It's almost like she's calling out to him, like, and you notice it's being held by another person, okay? But I honestly think, so this is like you. This hand here is you. This is your inner child. Your inner child's like, hey, wait up for me. And I think this is your process that you're maybe going through right now. Like you could be having a really strong awakening right now. And so it's almost like your inner child's like, I'm ready. Let's do this. Let's do this. Because right now I feel like you're kind of just like searching. Like, what am I supposed to be changing? What am I supposed to be working on? I'm ready to work on something. And now you're getting kind of like beckoned here. They just want to like ride on your shoulder, you know? Look at this, the Two of Torches here. There's two portals. And it looks like a brain, doesn't it? That looks like a brain. So you're like going into your consciousness, your inner voice, and like you're finding what it is that you're needing to change with that lens of change. And you're not going to be led astray, because I honestly feel like it just leads inside. It's supposed to make you think that you have a choice, but you don't really, because it leads to the same place. Okay, let's see. Where's this death card going? There's this child that's deep within you going on your transformational journey. Okay, so a big stack came out. I'm not going to take them all, but I do want to just look at them. So we have the Six of Pentacles. And to me, this is the winds of change. Like, this is how you, like, by changing yourself, you change the world, right? And that's what the Six of Pentacles is about, like reciprocity, equal give and take and stuff like that. But it's almost like you're taking this from your internal journey, right? It's coming from over here. You're taking it and then giving it to the world. You're taking it and giving it to the world. But I don't think it's necessarily like a conscious thing. I think that it's like whatever you're choosing to do, whatever it is that's being ignited within you, is going to change the world. And you won't even have to like work to like enact change. Does that make sense? Okay, so anyway, this card came out separately. Like this one fell, and then I was setting the deck down, and this one fell, and then a stack fell. So, but this didn't fall on the stack, it fell beside the stack. And the Knight. I'm getting a sense to put it up here. Because if you look, this is like a person, and then within their third eye is another person. It's like their inner voice, right? And here, it's outside of themselves. It's more of that like, and it's so much water and moon energy. Maybe look up your moon sign and then like the traits of that moon sign. But This person is like emerging. It looks like they're kind of like sweating or crying. But to me, they look like they're just like emerging out of the water. But they look somber. And this person looks kind of somber, but also like hopeful. And you know what it feels like is like, this is almost like the child, okay? This is the child. And this is you. It's like almost like you're emerging from this meditation or something. You're emerging from the meditation and it's almost like you realize it's so something that I struggled with when I was first going through like that really heavy like spiritual part of my awakening is like the time wasted. Is what I kept thinking about. Like when I would access my inner child, it was like, I've had these gifts and abilities for so long and I've wasted so much time because it wasn't nurtured, and that caused resentment and everything. And then the realization of how much work there was to do. And it felt like there was so much that had to be done. And I'm getting such a late start on it, blah, 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 all this stuff, okay? But none of that's true, okay? You didn't waste time because you were doing what you needed to be doing at the time, okay? That's part of who you are. That's part of your journey. It's part of the butterfly effect, okay? And even though when you start an ascension process or a spiritual awakening, it feels like there's so much to do and so much to get done. All you have to do is listen to yourself. All you have to say is like, okay, if you feel called to look something up, look it up. If you feel called to do a meditation, do a meditation. The only thing that you can't do is ignore it. Okay? I mean, you can, but I don't recommend that. So, because when you do those things, when you start listening to your intuition and like the things that you're supposed to be doing and whatnot, when you look back after a year of doing that, you will look back and realize how far you actually have come when in the beginning it seemed impossible. And that's kind of what I'm getting here with this energy. It's like you're kind of like coming out of a meditation, or you're coming out of, it's like a deep dive. You're coming up out of it and you're realizing just like all the damage that's been done and everything that needs done. And I feel like you're kind of sweating a little bit, but there's no need because the change that's supposed to happen is happening. That's the winds of change, okay? Now, I just kind of want to look at these. I saw they flipped up with this up, and this is the devil, okay? So I just kind of want to look at what was in there. Ace of Swords, Three of Cups, Eight of Cups, Prince of Cups, Magician, Three of Wands, the devil. It's interesting. A lot of the energy is going this way. This happened in one of the other readings too. I can't remember which one. And I don't know. I mostly was just called to see the devil. Like, I wanted to point out that it was there. Now, it could be something to do with what you've been doing thus far. It's like almost like you were chained to something that wasn't in line with you. That's what it feels like here. This woman is chained to the goat. Is this his hand? I'm not sure. But he also has horns. Do you see that? Oh, sorry, you can't see it. He also has horns. Oh, there's a man and a woman chained to the devil. Okay, to the goat. You know what I'm seeing here? This is so interesting. Okay. So he's holding on to the man part of this, the masculine aspect, okay? And then the woman, the female aspect, is over here in another hand. But she's also chained to the devil. But it's almost like the masculine aspect of your personality has been like separated from you. But it's like it's time to have them both in the same hand, and you're headed, in the right direction. Okay, let's see. I know we have some time here. No, I'm going to use them. So it's the chakra reading cards. I'm going to kind of get some advice for you. Actually, you know what? I'm really being called back to the archetype cards. That's interesting. Okay, can I pull an archetype card for Libra, please, for April? Well, I got 2. Now, we have the Judge here on the bottom, which is interesting because it's a very Libran energy. It has the scales on it, okay? Now, 2 came out. We have Father and Scribe. Abuse of authority. Now, it's interesting because I was saying with this Devil card here about the masculine energy and how it was like kind of carried and like separated from the feminine energy. So maybe that's part of your childhood wounding, is like something to do with your father. It says dictatorial control, abuse of authority. So maybe you had a really, really strict father. Or something like that. Okay, and then it says light attributes, talent for creating and supporting life, positive guiding light within a tribal unit. Now that's interesting because that's kind of what I get when the feminine and the masculine get to work together. And I'm just talking like the feminine and masculine within yourself. But it's almost like if you had this dictatorial, I don't know how to say. It's like a dictatorship, right? If that's kind of the kind of father you had. So this is just an example. If that's the kind of father you had, that's kind of what would manifest in your life. That's also a butterfly effect, right? No matter who you were supposed to be in a masculine way, that is how your masculine aspect would present itself later in life, because that's what you learned. That was your example. And so I honestly think it's kind of like finding this balance that might have something to do with this, like healing because there's so much water here and so much moon energy, and that's a very like feminine energy. And so I feel like there is something like about needing to balance these things out. And so with that, it's like the light out attribute, talent for creating and supporting life, positive guiding light within a tribal unit. So it's kind of like going from like dictatorship, abuse of authority, to finding out how to be supporting, right? That's a wind of change. Like that's a complete change, okay? But there's something within you that needs healing, some like inner child wounding that needs healing in that way. Even if it doesn't manifest in your outward reality, it still affects you internally. Like there's still a child in you that was parented in whatever way, okay? In whatever way I'm getting like your father, whether he was there and he was toxic or whether he was not there, because that's also toxic, right? And then we have scribe. So I'm getting that writing might have been something that you did a lot when you were younger, whether that's poems or journaling or short stories or whatever. It was like, I think there was some form of writing going on. It says shadow attribute, altering facts or plagiarizing others' work. And then the light attribute is preserving knowledge and information. You know what they're saying? Like, maybe if you journaled when you were younger, try to, when you meditate, like, access some of those journals. Even though if you don't have, like, physical copies of them, you might be able to, like, trigger some memories by just, like, accessing mentally your journals. That's so strange that that's coming out that way. But if you don't journal now, or I think you are definitely supposed to be doing some form of writing. But make sure that you're being truthful in your writing, because it does say altering facts. And so maybe when you meditate, as soon as you come out of the meditation, maybe write down what's happening. And meditation can be done many ways. I do strongly encourage you to go do that butterfly effect meditation. But also, you can meditate in different areas of your life all the time. Like, some people like to meditate, like by prayer. Some people like to meditate by exercise. Some people like to meditate by cooking or doing chores and stuff like that. But as soon as you come out of it, you need to write down what it is that you went through, or say out loud what you're going through, because spoken word, written word is so much more powerful than just thoughts, right? Like, we tend to remember things that we write down more than we remember just like thinking them or just reading them or whatever. So yes, I strongly encourage you to write, deal with your inner child wounding, especially in the masculine sense of the matter, okay? So Libra, this has been your reading. I hope it was helpful. If it was, you can like, comment, share, subscribe. I thank any of you for being present today, any of your guides that were present, any of my guides that were present from the bottom of my heart. Thank you so much, and I'll see you soon. Bye.